Hey everyone, the Hockey GM here, and today we're going to start our first ever franchise mode, and the team we're using is the Philadelphia Flyers. The Philadelphia Flyers are one of three teams, I believe, that fired their general manager at the end of the 2022-2023 regular season. Chuck Fletcher is no longer the lead man for the Flyers. It's now going to be us, the Hockey GM. We're taking over this Flyers team and perhaps rebuilding it to try to get the glory days back in Philadelphia. It's been a struggle for a while now in Philly. A lot of disappointing playoff exits to the Pittsburgh Penguins, the rivals, no doubt, and just kind of an up and down type of last 10 years. Sometimes they're very good, sometimes they're very bad. This year they were the latter, very bad, and we're gonna get the chance to redo that season, see if we can do it better, and then, like I said, also go into the future with this team. Maybe 10 years or so, I don't know. We'll see how it goes, and try to get a dynasty here in Philadelphia. So to start, let's take a look and see what we have on our team, just player-wise, asset-wise, to see what we're working with, what Chuck Fletcher left us with, and thankfully we have a real good piece of the future and of right now. A very good goaltender in Carter Hart, 87 overall, 24 years old. 2 more years left on a pretty good contract that pays him just under $4 million. He's already an elite goaltender with that medium elite potential. You look at his stats, it's been kind of up and down for him. He came out into the league just on fire, cooled off a bit. This year he had another pretty good year. He has a bit of playoff experience with the Flyers from the bubble. Those are his individual stats. Pretty good all the way around. Second round pick back in 2016. And the backup to Carter Hart is Felix Sandstrom, minor starting league goaltender. Fringe starter, 25, another Flyers draft pick, third round, 2015. A bit of experience in the NHL, no playoffs, but he's won a game, or he hasn't won a game, excuse me, in five tries. I think he was their backup in real life this year. They did okay. Goaltending, honestly, not that bad for the Philadelphia Flyers. And then in the AHL, Grosnick, just kind of a AHL goaltender here, 33. Not bad numbers, honestly, when he's played in the NHL. So another option for the backup. And Samuel Urson, another prospect goalie, 22, medium starter, fifth round pick, 2018. So honestly, pretty healthy between the pipes. He doesn't have much experience, not surprising at 22, but a decent prospect in Urson, Sandstrom, Carhart, very healthy between the pipes to start for the Flyers. On the defensive end, the blue line, not bad, 385s. Obviously, Tony DeAngelo, very polarizing player. You either love him or hate him. Coming off of a great season in Carolina is when he decided to sign with these Philadelphia Flyers. Obviously, everyone knows what happened with him in New York, but he's got playoff experience, 17 games of it. But definitely an offensive-minded defenseman, medium top four. Still could grow at 26. Offensive defenseman. I mean, very good offensive stats, high offensive awareness, good passing, not too bad defensively, a good skater as well. He's got the pinch shoot, which kind of fits with our coaching. He's on a 2-year deal at $5 million, which expires with him as a UFA. Very interesting there. Ivan Provorov, who's been kind of the guy for the Flyers the last handful of years. A lot of people were really, really high on him. He's kind of come down now just as like an average top four defenseman. Medium elite potential still at 25. You can see what I mean. He's had some good years in the past, 40 points there, 36, but he's struggled recently. But to be fair, so have the Flyers. Been good with the Flyers in the playoffs, but as you can see there, 2 years only of playoff experience in the last 6 years for the Philadelphia Flyers, so not ideal. But 7th overall pick back in 2015, pretty good all the way around. Not too bad of a player. Really likes this coach, so that's good news. As he's locked up for another 3 years at 6,750, which isn't a bad deal. A little pricey for an 85, but he could definitely grow still with that medium elite. Samheim is the other young defenseman in the Flyers system they've committed to. Another draft pick by the Flyers. He's now played 5 full seasons with the Flyers. Not too bad. Again, some seasons up and down depending on how the Flyers are doing. Has that playoff experience. Another two-way defender. 2014 17th overall selection of the Philadelphia Flyers. Pretty good all the way around, honestly. Nothing too crazy. Pointing out just a very solid all-around player. And again, he does really like the coach. So that's good news that him and Provorov, at least, who look like they're going to be mainstays on this blue line if we decide to keep the core intact, like this coach. And he has one more year left at 4.675, but then he's got that 8-year extension at 6.250. So really committed to Sanheim. So it's good that the coach likes him, and honestly, not a bad deal for an 85, especially if he can grow a bit with some good seasons with the cap going up. Another young defenseman of the future we have here in Cam York, 21 medium top 4, 14th overall in 2019. Only played one season, not even a full season, so this will be really his first full season. Little guy there, only at 5'11", for an offensive defenseman, 21. Not bad. So it looks like he's going to kind of be our power play specialist of the future, but he's there defensively as well. He also really likes his coach, so that's very good that, our blue line at least is matching up well with John Tortorella. I know the coach says Couturier, but we're going to pretend it's John Tortorella. And he needs a contract at the end of this year, which he already wants an extension at a very fair price indeed. 4 years, not bad. That leaves him as an RFA, so maybe something we want to look into already at 83 overall for Cam York. And then to round out the blue line, we have Justin Braun, just a veteran here, top 6, D-man, defensive guy, pretty shutdown guy, good penalty killer. Again, really likes Tortorella, so that's good. Really, everyone at D'Angelo really fitting in well. He left Philly, came back, it looks like, but a lot of playoff experience for Braun, so that will be a good asset for us if we're going to try to go on a push this year, if not a very good trading asset. And then a real rough decision here by Chuck Fletcher, bringing in Rasmus Ristolainen. He's played, I don't even know how many seasons now, maybe like 11 or something. I'm not going to bother counting them. Was not bad in Buffalo, but I mean, the big minus is he's struggled ever since coming to Philly. Takes a lot of penalty minutes. A big hitter. But as you can see, no playoff experience for him. Big physical category. Not even that great defensively. Offensively, just kind of meh. Again, though, likes the coach, but a big contract. 5.1 for 5 years for Rasmus Ristolainen. That is an expensive price tag for an 80 overall D-man. But honestly, blue line, not bad. York, Sanheim, Provorov, if D'Angelo works out, that's not a bad core to at least start around. You're just missing that true, bona fide number 1 guy on that blue line. Do we have it in a prospect in the AHL? Doesn't look like it. Just a bunch of low top 4s. Nothing really crazy there. Yeah, really nothing to write home about. Just a few average guys. Not really going to go into that too much. Let's check out the forward core now. So obviously we have Sean Couturier here. He's missed almost the entire season for the Flyers this year. He missed a lot of time last year, just an injury-riddled player. But when he's healthy, he's very good. A few 70-plus point seasons, 30 goals. But you can see he's been here since 2011. Obviously, they made it to the finals in 2010. But since then, only 6 playoff berths for the Philadelphia Flyers. So, since making it to the finals over, 12 years ago now, only 5 playoff berths, very up and down for the Flyers, and no real deep runs to go with it either. But obviously a very good two-way player, 8th overall back in 2011. Very good defensively, great face-off guy, which I like. Doesn't honestly love the coach, so that's interesting. Unstoppable force, magnetic, stick him up, yoink for superstar abilities, and 7.75 for 8 more years. So another guy we're committed to see if we can get Sean Couturier the Stanley Cup, likely the next captain of our team, I'll say. Obviously, we can decide that later, but Sean Couturier, a guy we're committed to for sure. Travis Konechny, another good up-and-coming player for the Flyers, had a great year in real life this year. 25 still with medium lead, so can grow. He's put up 50, 60 points before. Had, like I said, a good year in real life. Bit of playoff experience with the Flyers. Two-way forward who kind of plays on the edge there. 2015, 24th overall selection. So another first-round pick of the Flyers who's playing on the team. So they've drafted well, at least in the last handful of years. But yeah, pretty good all the way around. Again, doesn't love the coach. Likes the second line, it looks like, a bit more. But he's got some superstar abilities. Tape to tape, crease crasher, no contest. And then 5.5 for 3 more years for Travis Konechny. That will give him a UFA expiry as well. So similar deal to what Provorov has. Then we have Kevin Hayes here, another veteran center for the team. Hayes obviously signed that big deal with the Flyers a few seasons ago. Yeah, entering his 4th season of this 7-year deal. Really hasn't looked his best in a Flyers uniform. He's got a lot of playoff experience. Big guy, power forward, 6'5", pretty good all the way around. To be honest, good face-offs again. Likes the coach, likes the second line. Still has 4 more years left on that deal. So an interesting player there for our team. Cam Atkinson, another player they obviously traded for Jacob Voracek, brought him in, had a real good first season. Again, missed a lot of the season this year with the Philadelphia Flyers in real life, but he scored 30, he scored 40 before even. A lot of playoff experience with the Blue Jackets, knows Torts well. A little guy who really made a name for himself, 6th round pick, but very good short-handed, just a very good all the way around player for this team. Loves that second line, so maybe pairing him with Kevin Hayes on that second line gives you a sniper, gives you a power forward, which isn't bad. And again, 3 years left, 8.75 for the 33-year-old. Still has his exact top 6, but 33, something to keep an eye on whether or not he'll be dropping. And then we have a nice young up-and-coming player here in Joel Farabee, 22 years old. For Joel Farabee, he's entering his 4th season in the NHL. Pretty solid little player there, 22 years old, 14th overall pick again of the Flyers in the 1st round. Pretty good all the way around for a two-way forward. Not in love with this coach, but we're committed to him. $5 million for 6 years for the youngster. That should expire him as a UFA. It does. So Farabee again, a part of this future of the Philadelphia Flyers with Sanheim, with Couturier, guys like that who Chuck Fletcher at least committed to. Scott Laughton, another former 1st-round pick of the Philadelphia Flyers back in 2012. Another two-way forward, very good defensively. All the way around, a pretty good player. 4 years left with $3 million. Kind of indifferent on the coach, likes the higher lines, which is interesting. But a very good third-line player. You can tell based on these stats, he can get you 30 points. I know he's very good shorthanded. Another player who had a very good season in real life for the Flyers. Owen Tippett here, the main piece, player-wise, that they got back for the Claude Giroux deal. Played a bit with the Flyers at the end of the year. A little bit of experience with Florida, but really more of just a up-and-coming prospect there at 23.82. Sniper, medium, top 6, not bad. I mean, a top 10 pick of the Flyers in 2017, so another 1st-round pick, a boatload of them. And there's another guy who really likes that second line, so maybe Atkinson, Tippett, Hayes work well together on that second line. Who knows? But 1.5 for 2 years keeps him as an RFA. Definitely a player I'm interested to see how they do. Next up, we have James Van Riemsdyk on his 2nd tour with the Philadelphia Flyers. Obviously, he went to the Leafs, came back. Again, another guy who's got a lot of experience in the playoffs. Was on that 2010 team that lost to the Blackhawks. Probably the only player we have from that era. A guy who put up 20 goals, very good in the power play. Like I said, a 2nd overall pick of the Flyers back in 2007. Still not bad offensively. Really likes the first line, so that's interesting. 1 year left at $7 million. Does not want to re-sign, so if we're not looking like a playoff team, definitely trade bait for us. I know Chuck Fletcher got a lot of hate for not moving him. I would not make that mistake if we need to move him. in the deadline. Noah Cates, another player who really burst onto the scene this year, a fifth round pick in 2017 of the Flyers. Pretty good two-way forward all the way around. Likes the coach, so a very good depth forward here at 2280. One overall. Had a bit of experience at the end of last year. Like I said, had a good year this year. Not bad. Wants an extension. Just curious. Yeah, pretty fair deal as well. Wade Allison, another kind of depth young player here that the Flyers have, who played a bit with the Flyers in the past, who's looked good in those games in real life, as you can see there. Again, pretty good all the way around. Nothing jumping out at you. He's not in the lineup, so I can't tell where he likes to play, but I think I saw, yeah, power forward for him and a second round pick of the Flyers. So the Flyers have drafted well. A lot of these players on this team are Flyers draft picks, so that's nice to see. Then we've got a few depth players here. Brendan Lemieux, kind of a grinder, enforcer type player, very physical, not bad defensively, but you can see those penalty minutes are high. Bit of playoff experience, don't know about that. Kiefer Bellows, former first round pick of the Islanders that didn't work out. The Flyers got him on waivers. Again, not sure if that's a player who's going to work out for us. Hasn't really shown much success at the NHL level. And then another rough signing here by Chuck Fletcher. Definitely part of the reason why he was fired. Signing another kind of enforcer, grinder type player in Nick Delorier. Only has 5 games of playoff experience. To a big deal. You can see very good physically. But I mean, he actually really likes the fourth line. 4 years, 175. That's rough for a 77 overall grinder. And then we have some other youngsters down here. I think this is Tanner Lazinski. Only a little bit of experience in the NHL. Two-way forward, another Flyers draft pick though. Not bad, probably more of an AHLer. And then Tyson Forrester as well. Another first round pick of the Philadelphia Flyers. Pretty good all the way around. Another two-way forward to come up of the future. So yeah, and then in the system we have a little bit more prospects. Morgan Frost down here actually at 81, medium elite, 23 years old. This is probably our best prospect we have right now, 23 medium elite. So if you can get him going, you can get him maybe up to a mid 80. But very good offensively, good skater. That's the AHL coach, so don't worry about that. I know he had a pretty good year in real life. Struggled a bit for the Flyers, but hasn't played all too much. But obviously a former first round pick in 2017, so very good player there. And Bobby Brink as well, another good prospect who's got a bit of experience for the Flyers. Second round, 34th overall, 2019, a sniper. So another offensive player here for the Flyers. And then not really much else. A high bottom 6, a few top 6. Desnoyers maybe 20 still. But that's really the main bulk of the team. If you guys are big Flyers fans, you might wonder where their most recent player, I believe it's Rutger McGroarty is, because he's a college player. Unfortunately, he's not in the game, and I don't want to do the creative players because they sim differently than the regular players, and it's just kind of unfair that way. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to get by without him. And you also might have realized no Ryan Ellis for our team, and that's because he probably will never play again. And EA Sports still has him as like an 85, 86, so I didn't want to just give us that free player. And I did the same thing with a few other teams in the league, like the Carolina Hurricanes and Jake Gardiner. He is now nowhere to be found on the Carolina Hurricanes team, and Jacob Voracek with the Arizona Coyotes. Probably just not going to play again. And I've also changed a few of the cap hits around for teams. Like I know I made Andrew Ladd a very expensive player. Yes, 15 mil, because if the teams aren't cap compliant, it'll mess around with all the contracts. So I did a little pre-scouting to make sure everyone's contract was fair, so that we could have a nice, realistic GM mode. So after checking out our team, let's go through the coaching staff now, just so we can see who we have. So Couturier, this is John Tortorella here, forwards head coach, which is not true, but very good offense, A+, A+ Pioneer Kill, A+ power play, A defense. Teaching and coach influence a little lackluster there at B's, but he likes Scott Lawton, Couturier, Forster. So that's interesting. 63 fits, not bad. So those are his kind of stats. He likes the overload power play. I mean, we'll see what he can do. There's obviously no sense in firing him right now. He's got a 6-year deal, so Chuck committed to him. I don't know what Tortorella has in real life, but we can at least roll with him there. And we'll see what the best lines gives, but I think I'm going to go ahead and edit the lines myself, and then I'll show you my version of the edited lines. This isn't bad, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead, mess around with the lines, see who we want up on the team, and then I'll go over it with you guys. Give me a sec.